What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we are going to be talking about this. So this is the Pagani design PD-1694. So this was kindly provided to the channel at a small discount, but you guys know by now that that doesn't really impact my review. So this was supplied by the Pagani design official store. Link for that will be in the description. So let's take a look at the sizes, specs, and then we'll get into the watch in more detail. So this has a 41mm diameter, 45 including the crown, 14.1mm thick including the crystal, 20mm lug width, 47.5 lug to lug. We have a 6.8mm screw down crown, 145 gram sized up for me, 316L stainless steel all over, a ceramic bezel insert which is 120 click unidirectional. We have a domed sapphire crystal and 200 meter water resistance, but obviously I wouldn't trust it at that. Probably okay for swimming. I wouldn't say it's safe for diving. So now let's get into the design, and we're going to start off with that bezel first. So you can see it is pretty typical Subby style. We've got the iconic loom pip at the 12 o'clock, markings all the way around to the 15, and then we've got numerals every 10, and then batons every other 10, and that makes up pretty much the entire design. Really cleanly done. So yeah, let's test the action now. And you know what? It's not bad. Pretty decent action, quite well defined clicks. There is ever so slight amount of backplay though. Definitely not the worst I've ever seen from Pagani. But yeah, it's really nice. All lines up as it should. So yeah, apart from the tiny bit of backplay, it's actually a really solid feeling bezel. Good action, nice and smooth, easy to use, good amount of grip. Not really more you can ask from it. So moving in, you can see we have a brushed rehaul, so there's not really much going on there, and then we have a simple printed minute track. Moving in again, you can see instead of applied indices we have printed ones, and we have a mix of styles. So at the 12 o'clock we have the upside down triangle, 3, 6 and 9 you have some batons, and of course everywhere else you have circles. A little bit strange to see these are printed instead of applied, because Pagani usually do applied, so it's a little bit strange, but anyway, that's just how they've gone to do this one. Moving on to the dial, it is a matte black dial. Nothing really too much again to note there. Under the 12, Pagani design and their logo. Above the 6, automatic, water resistant, 200 meter, 660 feet. And then right at the very bottom, Japan movement. Looking at the hands, you can see they are classic Mercedes style high polish. But what you will notice is there is a slight difference in colour between the hands and the indices. The indices are quite a stark, crisp white, whereas the hands have a ever so slight hue to them. A little bit off-putting that they are not perfectly colour matched. And yeah, it's a little bit of a bugbear for me. Could be a deal breaker for some. But yeah, I definitely think they should have addressed that before, putting them into production. One thing I do like about the dial though, as you probably guessed, is the symmetry. There is no date window whatsoever, and I like that. I think it works so much better than the PD-1694, which I have there. That has a date window and a cyclops. I think it looks nice. This one looks nicer in my opinion. So yeah, very nice in terms of design. Looking at that side, you can see we have, the pretty much standard styling of the Rolex style bezel. High polished sides, no downturn to those lugs, pretty uninteresting. This side, we do get some nice crown guards, screw down crown, signed, bead blasted, and high polish for a bit of contrast. Taking a look at the case back, you can see it is a mix of brushing, high polish and bead blasting, and of course it's one of Pagani's newer case back designs. I quite like that they do different designs for different models. Just gives you something a little bit different instead of having the same case back on every single watch. But yeah, it's all cleanly done, screw down, no real complaints about it whatsoever. So now let's talk about the movement and in use. So this one is powered by a Seiko NH35. So if you don't know the specifications, here they are. So it's 24 joule, 21,600 beats per hour, a 41 hour power reserve, -20 to +40 per day, hacking, hand and auto winding, and of course it has the Seiko Magic lever, which allows it to have that cool, now pretty much iconic Seiko shuffle. Of course, you can't really call it a Seiko shuffle because it's a Pagani, but anyway, the movement Seiko, it has a Seiko shuffle and it works, you know, pretty much exactly the same. So how does this movement actually feel and work? Well, it's a very simple, straightforward movement. Yes, this one does have a date complication and no date window, so it does have a ghost date position, but I don't think that's a real deal breaker at all. The crown, very nice, good amount of grip, good size. Crown guards don't get in the way either, so it's very, very easy to get that crown out to access it. Pull it out twice, second hand stops, and then you can adjust it. Very, very nice feeling, probably the best feeling Pagani in terms of winding and adjusting I've ever come across. You also see we've got a little gasket as well, which does help with water resistance. But yeah, this crown and stem arrangement feels super solid and reassuring. We've got no horrible grating feedback. Everything is buttery smooth. And you guys know by now, you know, Seiko movements, you know, they're bulletproof. They're so reliable, so robust, and they just, you know, keep going. Screwing it back in, really simple. Get it to catch on the thread, and boom, it's done. Really simple, really straightforward, and easy to use. And it's going to be reliable because of that Seiko movement. You can also get these with a Miyota. I'd definitely wait and get the, you know, one with a Seiko instead. It's so much better, in my opinion. So now we're going to move on to the bracelet. So this one is a little bit different to what you usually see on a Subby Homage, and that is because it's more akin to a Tudor style. So you've probably seen this bracelet on their BB Homages. I have one there, but that's on an Oyster. You probably see it on my, if you've watched my BB58 video, it has the same bracelet as that. So we have female end links instead of a male end link, what you find on an Oyster bracelet. All brushed, and the brushing quality is very, very good. Really nice and smooth. Matches the lugs nicely as well, which is always nice to see. I don't like it when the, you know, the brushing is different, or if it's high polish and brushed. It doesn't work. Brushing really nicely matches. End feels really nice and solid. All fits bang on, no complaints. So at this side, you can see we have those faux rivets. This is something you'd see on, like I said, a Tudor Homage. And I don't think it works all that well with the Subby one. I just think it clashes a little bit too much, in my opinion. Then we get onto the this portion of the watch. All milled, brushed, very, very nice and high quality. Looking at the clasp, 3 macro adjust, double pushes, and all brushed, signed. Really nice quality, good quality brushing, a little bit of a chamfer on the edges. And you know what? It's so much better than the Oyster one that you get on the 1661. So much easier to adjust and, well, just better for it in my opinion. Screw links as well and solid end links. All the, you know, the hallmarks of a good quality bracelet, and it is a good quality bracelet. Nice articulation between those links. So what I'm going to do now is pop it on wrist, and then we'll talk a little bit more in detail about how comfortable it is. Right guys, so here it is on my wrist, and you know what? It's actually a very nice fit. So even though it's a 41mm and it's got 47.5 lug to lug, it just fits really well. I don't get any lug overhang at all, and it fits just about bang on. I was expecting the 41 to wear a little bit too big compared to the 40mm 1661, but it actually wears a little bit better. And I think the reason for that is the bracelet. Because it's got the female end link, it just seems to wear smaller than the other one, even though it's technically a millimetre bigger in diameter. But yeah, the bracelet feels nice. It's not got as much of a drastic taper as the Oyster does. But do you know what? It's a really, really comfortable one. Because it's got those micro adjust, it just fits so much better. The other one does have micro adjust, but it's a nightmare to use. This one is much more simple and straightforward, and because of that, you can just get a better fit easier. So you can see the profile. Obviously it's Subby style, so it wears a little bit flat, but even on my slim wrist, it's still a very comfortable watch. I would say if you've got, you know, above my wrist size, it's probably going to wear even better for you guys. But do you know what? I cannot complain about how comfortable this watch is. And again, I think it's all down to that bracelet. Yes, the style's a little bit mismatched for me. but do you know what? I can't argue with how comfortable it is. So now let's talk the verdict. What do I think about this watch? Well, this one is sub 100. I can't remember the current price. I think it's like 80 quid. I'll pop current price in for different currencies on screen. But do you know what? I think it's one of the better Paganis I've tested. It's definitely got more about it than the 1661. Build quality is really good. Smidge of back play on the on the bezel. Slight colour mismatch on the hands, and they're pretty much the only faults I can technically find with this watch. All lines up well, build quality is good, finishing's good, really solid feeling crown and movement. So yeah, no real complaints. Bracelet, even though it's a bit of a mismatch for me, is comfortable, it works. I would like to see this watch on a Jubilee bracelet. I think that would look awesome if they started doing that instead of this one. I think about time they showed us what they can do with a Jubilee, because I just really love how subbies look on Jubilees, but we've not seen one from Pagani yet, but that would be nice to see if they could do that. But yeah, all in all, this is definitely one of the better Subby Homages I've come across. Not as good as the Kronos, I'm just going to put that out there, but then again, that is a lot more expensive than this. But do you know what, for the price point, I think it's really good. Apart from those few minor issues, I think it's one of the better Paganis I've tested to date. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.